But first, a major breaking development tonight. It looks like local longshoremen will be back to work with the deal soon. The Pacific Maritime Association and the International Longshore and Warehouse Union have a tentative agreement tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Hannah Kim.
And I'm David Rose. Fox 13's Zach Anders has been following the story. He joins us now from Seattle with the latest. So, Zach, what have you learned about the deal?
Well, David, Hannah, this major shipping saga with billions on the line may be coming to its end. But the longshoremen, however, will have the final say. A vote within their ranks is what comes next. Within the last 2 hours, the acting Secretary of Labor, Julie Su, who reportedly played a major part in the negotiations these past few days, she wrote, "This important milestone is welcome news to all, and on behalf of President Biden, we are pleased to congratulate both parties on what they have achieved. This is a tentative 6-year contract for 22,000 longshoremen at 29 West Coast ports, including Tacoma and Seattle, where labor action has been disrupting the movement of cargo for the past few weeks. But this hasn't been a strike or a walkout per se. That would require a consensus vote by the union. Instead, there's been a deliberate effort to slow things down. As we've recently learned, about 1,000 containers moved through on a single shift here at the Port of Seattle. Last weekend, they were moving as few as 50 containers a shift, which had vessels stacking up in the Puget Sound, further threatening shipping throughout the Pacific, which is, of course, a highly choreographed affair. The Pacific Maritime Association, which represents terminal operations at the port, wrote tonight, "We are pleased to have reached an agreement that recognizes the heroic efforts and personal sacrifices of the ILWU workforce in keeping our ports operating." Of course, the union has been claiming their contributions throughout the pandemic that led to record profits at the ports hasn't trickled down to them. They've also shared concerns that these ports want to replace a big chunk of their workforce with automation. So it'll be interesting to see how this contract addresses their concerns. Now, both sides have said they're not going to release any details of the tentative agreement, but we have learned that in Canada, up north, the ILWU voted 99% within their ranks to authorize a strike, so that might have moved the needle on these negotiations. Now, that hasn't happened down here in the States. In fact, we learned today that the Port of Seattle was operating as normal. David, Hannah.